Lascovo Prosimo, Lascovo Prosimo, Lascovo Prosimo, Doyakoyo. Doyakoyo. Welcome, 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 one and all, to episode 99. Yes, 99, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe it? Episode 99 of the Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, your host, Clive Illenden. I hope you are good. I hope you are well. I'd like to say I'm well, but unfortunately, I have a bout of the old man flu. Not COVID, I hasten to add, but man flu. But, ladies and gentlemen, the show must go on. Yes, the show must go on. I'll battle through my man flu for you guys. Of course I will. Anyway, we have another great show for you today, as ever. So say hello in the chat. Say hello in the chat. Let me know what games you've been playing, which of the Stadia Pro games you're most looking forward to. We've got a poll going, as you can see, so make sure you partake in the poll. Join in. It's an interactive show. So make sure you vote in that poll. And if you can, as I say, join in with the chat, say hello and all of that. So, of course, we're going to be looking at the pro games, the new games possibly coming to Stadia, what the Google for Games Summit and all of that news. We're going to be taking a deep dive on all of that. So as ever, ladies and gentlemen, as ever, please, hit the likes because I like it. YouTube likes it. And of course, it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, you know what to do. You know what to do, ladies and gentlemen, don't you? Yeah? Hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with content like this. Hey, you know that. Anyway, as I say, I hope you're all good. I hope you're all well. I won a game on the Sunny channel. Gosh, I didn't even think I'd entered for it. Okay, let us see who are the guardians of good taste, ladies and gentlemen, the trendsetters, the opinion leaders, the avant-garde. Yes, those in the front row when it comes, of course, to chat. And let's just say hello to everybody there. Hello, chat. In lead there. Oh, up the top. The poll was hiding Victor there. Hello, Victor. Good to see you, sir. Case Ball. Lovely to see you. Twisted Barber, Stadia. Hello, Stadians. Exactly. Dave, one of the longest running members, channel members. Really appreciated, Dave. How are you? Ray, look at that. Sparkly, smiley as ever, Ray. Inled, as I said. Jeremy, good to see you. Devoy, good evening. Zero Games, how are you? Dasmay, yeah. He's in the house, as ever. Good to see you. Lloyd, lovely to see you. Dragon Quest, long game. Is decent. You're still playing it. He's still putting the mileage in there. Episode 69. Easy. Thank you. You want? Oh, I know. So Struggling Boxer. I won a game on the Sunny channel, but I wasn't even there. Oh, the crime. Was it a good game? That's a shame. That'll teach me. My current Stadia game has been Cyberpunk. Same here. I'm stuck on a boss level. Really trying to do... I'm not trying to do the side quests, Jeremy. I'm just trying to rattle through the story, yeah? Roger, how are you? Mr. Bayram, Cloudbusters. Lovely, as ever to see everybody. As I say, in terms of games, I've been playing Cyberpunk. Gone back to that. Really enjoying it, although I have come up against a difficult... what I like to think is a difficult boss level. So I sort of get through a few levels and then find someone quite difficult and sort of stop playing for a while because I get frustrated and then come back to it. Of course, FIFA. Been playing a lot of FIFA. So is my son. And my son and I, we played Fogs in co-op mode. Hilarious. Great fun. Highly recommended, of course. Fogs was a recent Stadia Pro game, of course. So I've been playing that. So anyway, that's what I've been playing. So to the news, ladies and gentlemen, let's go, of course. So last week saw a Stadia 2s. Yeah, a Stadia 2s. But hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen, hold your horses. We'll come to that because newsflash alert. Yeah, newsflash alert. We've had another Stadia blog post today. Today. After I'd written all of this. Two more games have been announced for Stadia, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you what, if ever there was a time for these games, right, let's have a look at this lovely blog post. So here we are. Next up on Stadia, indie open world adventures, Calico and Lake. Calico and Lake coming soon. So no date when they're exactly arriving. These are games from Whitethorn Games. We love open world games, which give players the opportunity to explore at their own pace and choose the type of adventure they want to have. Some good news to indie open world adventures from the team at Whitethorn Games. Look, check out Whitethorn Games here. Pretty laid back, cool, casual gaming this is. We're an indie gamer publisher focusing on pleasant, cozy games that can be played in pieces, that require no special skills or knowledge, that anyone can pick up and play. We're believers in accessibility, inclusion, and widening the audience that gets to play. We like to consider ourselves the defenders of easy gaming. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, right now is not the time for Battlefield and Call of Duties, yeah? Right now, in the world we're living, it's the time for having your own cat cafe, yeah? Because that's what this is, cat cafe. Look at this. In Calico, your only limitation is your imagination, ladies and gentlemen. Build the cat cafe of your dreams. Yeah, you've been dreaming about cat cafes? While uncovering magical potions and collecting cuddly animals from the nearby village. Look at this. Is she carrying a polar bear on her head? I think she is. And she's riding a dog. Fill your cat cafe with cats, deer, raccoons, dogs, red pandas, everything cute and fluffy. Befriend the forest animals while designing your cafe from top to bottom. Select the perfect combination of furniture and develop the best drinks and pastries for your furry patrons. There we go. Calico, coming soon. What a kind of charming game. Yummy pastries, fun decorations. Yeah. So there we go. Calico, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know when it's coming, just coming soon, apparently. But it's not the only one. Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the only game in this kind of chill, laid-back way from Whitethorn. Look, there's character creation there for Calico. But look here, Lake. So Lake, here, again, Lake is unique game experience, apparently. A fusion of traditional story-driven and click adventure, free-roaming driving sim, and modern narrative adventure. It's September the 1st, 1986. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one for the Gen X's, yeah? You take on the role of 40-something Meredith Weiss, who returned from the big city to her quiet hometown. She exchanges her busy career at a software company, autobiographical by somebody, I reckon, to fill in for her dad, the local mail carrier. During a 2-week stay in beautiful Providence Oaks, Oregon, she runs into a few familiar faces as well as plenty of new folk. As Meredith, you get to decide who to talk to, who to befriend, and perhaps even start a romantic relationship with. Whatever happens at the end of her stint, she'll have to make up her mind whether she returns to a demanding job in the big city or stay in the open town she grew up in. It's a sort of a decision tree type game. But I tell you what, if ever there is a time for games like this, it's right now, isn't it? You just can do with a bit of a chill out, easy games, drop in, drop out. I mean, graphically, it looks really, really nice, really cool. So this was announced by Stadia this evening, or this morning if you're West Coast. or this afternoon if you're East Coast, this morning if this evening if you're here in the in Europe. So there we go. Both very different games, very different games, and defo a sign of Stadia broadening the range of game types and genres, just as they said they would. They absolutely, again, this is Stadia following through on things they said they do. So at the end of December, I don't know if you remember, there was a blog post and they specifically mentioned they wouldn't just be bringing more games, they would be bringing a wider variety of games. And here you are. Here's a prime example of the sort of wide variety of games that they're bringing. So there we go. We don't know when they're coming exactly, but expect them in, I guess, in the next few couple of months. Anytime. But of course, there was a TWAS last week. We mustn't forget that. Oh, where is it? Where's the TWAS? Here it is. Too many TWASes. There was a twos last night, of course, last week, of course, announcing the pro games, which, of course, in the poll. So make sure you partake in the poll. Obviously, big announcement about Destiny 2's The Witch Queen and the Season of the Risen. Let me know. Let me know whether you've partaken in that at all. Of course, we'll come back to that a little bit later. But the big things here are the pro games of Dawn of the Monsters, Adam Wolf. Never heard of that game before. Where you play an investigator of the supernatural, ladies and gentlemen. So Dawn of the Monsters, of course, we've talked about on this channel before. And it's quite interesting, Dawn of the Monsters, because we knew the game was coming in March on multi-platform. So Dawn of the Monsters was planned as a multi-platform release sometime in March. And yet it's coming to Stadia as a pro game on the 1st of March. So it looks like this is sort of a mini exclusive. Not only is it's not even a day and date release. I think Stadia is getting it before the other platforms, and Stadia is getting it on Stadia Pro, a bit like Little Nightmares 2. So we're seeing some patterns that we saw last year. Which is quite interesting. So, of course, this is where you play a sort of a kaiju monster beat 'em up, although not versus against each other. You're sort of beating up the kaiju monsters as you know in your robots and your techs, and you can play as a friend. But look here, coming March 2022. So yes, of course. The 1st of March is 2022, but there was no specific date on it there, which I thought was quite interesting. And it seems that this may have been actually confirmed that it is a sort of mini exclusive. There was a tweet here. Shout out to Ninja Guy. Lovely Ninja Guy. What a sweet guy. Who also spotted this. Looks like Dawn of the Monsters will be exclusive to Google Stadia for a few days, weeks. I have a funny feeling I saw Dawn of the Monsters for like 15th of March in my head, something like that, on all platforms. And Ninja says, isn't it coming tomorrow, or is that just Stadia? And they've put here, so this is the developer, 13 a.m. That's just Stadia. So it looks like the developer is confirming that this is, in fact, a mini Stadia exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause to Stadia, please. Put some round of applause in the chat. Yeah, we're getting a mini exclusive and straight to pro. So a pretty good pro title. Bear in mind, we're getting 5 pro titles. One of them, two brand new titles. One of them, a multi-platform title, which is launching on Stadia before other platforms. So that's pretty impressive, I'd say. Definitely worthy of a round of applause. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting, worth noting. And then, of course, the other games we've got are Dark Side Genesis, which is one of the first games on Stadia, of course, in that first sort of round of games, in the first couple of months of Stadia's initial launch. Dark Side Genesis. Again, a lot of this trailer is very cinematic. You don't really get the gameplay until a bit later on. Just give you a sense, because that's a bit... There we are. That's more like a sense of the gameplay there. Again, a bit different from the other Darksiders, which are more sort of third-person sort of platforming type things. There we are on Stadia, of course, way back in December 2019. And then the other title, of course, the other Pro title, Darkwood, which I'm particularly looking forward to, because I was really intrigued by this game. Again, Darkwood has a sort of Super Animal Royale mechanic in the fact that it's a top-down game like this, and then it uses the limited light to sort of restrict your view, and in this case for sort of creepy effect as you sort of creep through a European forest. So I'm looking forward. I think this is probably the game I'm looking forward to out of all the Stadia Pro. But again, put it in the title. Let me know which ones put it in the poll. Which ones you're looking forward to. But that's certainly a cracker one. I think that's a great Pro title again. And talking of new games as well, so Adam Wolf, of course, which I don't have the clip here. So Adam Wolf is a sort of a mystery. Look, don't be lazy, Clive. Let's just go to the look. Just look it up. We've got the internet. Power the internet, yeah? Jesus, what's wrong with you, boy? Right. So Adam Wolf, that was very Judgment there, walking behind him there, is a sort of supernatural, mysterious detective thriller with puzzle elements and stuff like that. So a bit like, I guess, Dark Side Detective, elements of that. Solve the mystery. You can see the sort of puzzle games there, things like that. But I wasn't familiar. I'm not familiar. Let me know if you're familiar with the Adam Wolf series. Have you played the Adam Wolf series before? I've not heard of this series before. So yeah, a great one if you're into those sort of detective puzzling, escape room type puzzle games with a good story, interesting story. So that's Adam Wolf. So that's coming. So good stuff. Good stuff. And then finally, this isn't talking about the rich. I mean, we talk about those two games, some Whitethorn games, Calico and Lake. And then we talk about Darkwood and Adam Wolf and Dawn of the Monsters. I mean, talk about variety of games. A real mix of stuff that's coming, isn't it? And of course, then the other is Race with Ryan Road Trip Deluxe, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't twig that this was actually a Pro title. Look at little Ryan there. Isn't he cute? Is he still that cute? Has he ever grown up? Surely he's going to be a point where he grows up out of that cuteness. Anyway, Racing with Ryan, the Deluxe Edition, which is a fairly new game. I think the Deluxe Edition is a new release. The racing game's a little bit older, but the Deluxe Edition, I think, is a new edition. And this is got those Mario Kart vibes. Get your weapons, drive over the eggs there, fire your weapons, get your boosters, speed ramps, all of that. I love a bit of kart racing. So yeah, and one for the kids. This is sort of easier level, as I understand it. You can switch to make it even easier, almost automatic for kids as well, for your young ones. I remember teaching my son how to play Mario Kart when he was 3 or 4. He was hopeless. But then within about a year, brilliant. And now he teaches me how to play. Well, he's 12 now, but he teaches me how to play bloody games. I mean, I was playing Fogs with him, and I'm pretty good at platforming puzzle games. And I was thinking, I don't know what to do next. I don't know where to go. And he's going, why don't we try such and such? And I went, genius. I never thought of that. And sure enough, he was right. He was bloody right. He says, I'll tell you, I swear, it's like, you were once the master. Now I am the master. Yeah, thanks, son. Anyway, there we go. So a pretty good round, all round, I think, of a pretty impressive pro round of pro games is the word I was looking for. So yeah, pretty good. And then of course we had there's a demo, a limited demo, no pro required, of Chorus, which is a great game for somebody who doesn't like flying games. Chorus is a great game to play with aerial battles and all of that. And a demo is, again, this is Stadia delivering on the things they said they would do, bringing more demos and all of that. And of course, talking of demos, free play weekend's just coming to an end, if not just ended, although albeit for Stadia Pro with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So if you've not had a chance to dive into that, I've got Ubisoft Plus, so I can dive into it anytime. Still haven't. I've got my backlog of games, and I know this is going to take up a lot of time. But yeah, if you were unsure about Assassin's Creed and all of that kind of stuff, free weekend for Stadia Pro members. Great thing to see. Absolutely. Good stuff. And then more DLC for Phoenix Point, Chaos Engines. I've never really played Phoenix Point. Let me know in the chat if you've played Phoenix Point. We've got some... Yeah, it is a DLC for you.
Oh yes, she will be a devastating machine. Go away now and let me work.
So it's basically adding engines.
Might be some new toys to play with next time you come around, eh?
The Phoenix Point there. Chaos Engines DLC coming very, very soon to Stadia. In fact, it's out, isn't it? The 1st of March. They're coming tomorrow. So they're coming tomorrow. DLC, which is great to see. XCOM style games aren't particularly my kind of thing. So, yeah. We mentioned, of course, the Witch Queen coming to Stadia. Well, no, coming to Destiny, I should say. Up the top here. And it's interesting because Jack the Slip put out his stats. So there's a lot of buzz around the Witch Queen and the Season of the Risen on Destiny 2. Again, I haven't jumped into it yet. Let me know if you have, what you thought about it. But there seems to be a lot of positive buzz about this particular story, add-on, DLC, call it what you will, of Destiny 2. It's getting it's being well received. And if we have a quick look at the stats, shout out to Jack the Slip, of course. He put some handy stats out here. And you can see here, look at this little jump up here, and then a little extra spike here in the player numbers. So this is Destiny 2. The Witch Queen DLC arrived this week and brought Stadians back to the game. It hit 7,300 plus daily Stadia players this weekend. The dip before the rise is due to maintenance before the release. Oh yeah, so they had maintenance here, and then it shot right up there, almost double where it was. Almost double. Probably will be double in the next few days, probably. I'm sure if Jack the Slip did another analysis, it would be double the players. So, yeah, absolutely cool. Is this when it went free to play? I think this is where it went free to play. So that's pretty good for a DLC. It's right up there. Or am I thinking PUBG? I'm thinking PUBG, I think, went free to play. But anyway, it's just interesting to see the effect of DLC like that, like Destiny 2. I memean, like the Witch Queen on Destiny 2. And, of course, confirmation that the alpha of Sky Climbers will be coming to Stadia, and it'll be coming to Stadia in May. And in fact, I think there was they don't confirm it in here, but the developer has confirmed that it is coming in May. And this will be using the Stadia channels to take advantage of this sort of closed alpha type thing. Well, not closed alpha, but an alpha version of Sky Climbers for those that can't wait until the end of the year when it is due to be released. So that, I think they announced it's coming in May. So look out for that. And of course, I've mentioned it before, but there was a new Year 7 season for Rainbow Six. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Twas last week, plus another Twas this week. I mean, I thought Stadia was, dying. Busy. Yeah? And I tell you what, March itself is lining up to be a busy old month. There's quite a number of games, including not just the Stadia Pro, of which includes 2 brand new games. In fact, talking of the Stadia Pro, I forgot, of course, we need to have our weekly trip to Inled. We'll come back to that. Where's my Inled? Here we are. This is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. 52 games. 52 games in the library. Which is pretty impressive. Come March. I'm not sure if this is up to date because I couldn't remember there was 3 or 4 games leaving. Sorry, background sound. That'll teach me. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, so Stadia Pro titles. 52. On that upward trend. Pretty impressive. Could we see more Pro titles in March? It wouldn't surprise me at all. But there we go. As ever, wonderful graphics from Inled to help just, show us. Thank you, Stadia Adventure. We got you. Got all these YouTube things open. That's what's happening. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, 52 Pro games. That's not bad, is it, really? I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed. But it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't stop there. Again, shout out there to Stadia Adventure. I don't do this on purpose just so that you have to pay to get my attention. Honestly. But talking of Ryan's games, it's not the only Ryan game that's coming. And it's not the only game in March, as I said, that's coming. We also have Ryan's Rescue Squad, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan's Rescue Squad looks like it's coming. So this is a platformer game. Let's go here. It's our friend Ryan from Outright Games as well. So this looks like it's coming very, very soon. It's not officially been announced for Stadia. But, ladies and gentlemen, so as you can see, it's sort of a kiddie platforming game. It's good. These kids introducing, classic genres to kids. This is well done, Ryan. There we are. All very Mario there. So this game, it looks like it's coming to Stadia. It wouldn't surprise me. It's from Outright Games anyway, but they've effectively confirmed that it is the case. If we check here, somebody asked the question. Of course they did. Yay! Thank you, Stadia. More. Wow. Thank you, Stadia Adventure. Somebody asked Outright Games here. Ryan's Rescue Squad on Google Stadia on March the 4th as well, question mark. John, John Scar asked the question. And Outright Games' response was, it is our intention. Ryan tells us that he's going to need as much help as possible to save his friends. Thanks for your interest, Ron. So whether it's coming out on the 4th of March or a little later, I don't know. But hey, it's coming out. So more love there from Outright Games. So not bad at all. Yeah, it's good. It's good when you have a developer. I mean, obviously we know Ubisoft have a relationship with Stadia, and that's really great. And then on the other hand, we've got Outright Games, you know, producing all these family games and these family IP games and stuff like that, which is brilliant for families. You know, as I was saying, playing Fogs, even though it's not an outright game, but those sort of games. And I know Jack plays a lot with his little one, you know. Oh, that sounded wrong, didn't it? With his son. Jack plays a lot, you know, these games with his son and stuff like that. So it's great to see that you've got these games. Whoa, Victor. Look at that, Victor. Thank you very much there for the super chat. Really much appreciated. Always appreciated. So, landing on Steam on the 4th of March. So we could see it. We could see it on Stadia then or a little later. Wait and see. But then, of course, we've got, it's not the only one, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the only one that's coming in March. We've got Mad Streets. Mad Streets coming in March. Yeah? I put it, let me just check here. Which is scheduled for 15th of March, I think. I'm just checking here. Yeah, checking my notes there. 15th of March, Mad Streets. Now, that's its general release. So I'm not sure unless it would be day or date with Stadia. There's some certification it's got to get through and stuff like that. So that's in the, but if it, you know, if it's not, then it will be a little later. But we know it's coming to Stadia, but it shouldn't be far behind the 15th if it's not actually on the 15th. So there's that coming. So with so many games coming in March, I mean, they're really up in the ante here. And then, of course, Lamote, the Chronicles. That's also coming, ladies and gentlemen, in March. I think on the 24th, coming on the 24th of March from our friends at Wild Productions. More on them later. World War Z, of course, is due by the end of the month. So we should be expecting that because, well, meteorologically speaking, winter is over tomorrow. And then, of course, we've got Oddballs. World War Z. We've got Oddballs coming, of course. Oddballers. Another one on the 24th of March. I mean, how many games? How many games have we got coming in March? It's really kind of ramping up a bit here. Just confirm there, launching March the 24th on all the platforms, Xbox One, Stadia, Amazon Luna, and all of that. So you had that. Maybe Calico and Lake this month. Maybe not. Maybe they're pro games. Maybe Calico and Lake might be pro games in April. Who knows? But I mean, you know, winding down. You're having a laugh, aren't you? Winding down. You're having a laugh. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, plus maybe another game. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, what has Wired Productions got planned? Oh, yeah. Honestly, Wired Productions, their love for Stadia, man, get a room. Yeah, get a room. Wired Productions, Jesus, and Stadia. So look at this tweet from Wired Productions. We love at Google Stadia, but you know what we love even more? The Stadia community. We thought we should really show some love back to them. That's why we have part of a Discord just for Stadia chat. So if you click on there, they've got a Discord, and in the Discord, so this is the publisher with their Discord, within the Discord, they've got their own little Stadia section. So make sure you get over to the Discord and, say hello and all of that. So great for showing the love to Stadia and all of that. I mean, as I say, get a room, guys. Great to see a publisher showing its love for Stadia and the community, and hell, ladies and gentlemen, not just showing its love, defending it, right? So there's somebody here who tweeted, let me go big on this for you, and then get my old noggin in there as well so you can see me. Plain news. Where's it? There we are. Hello. Right. So you can see here, somebody tweeted out here, technically speaking, Stadia works very well. Correct. Too bad it didn't catch on. Right? Now, of course, you'll have the Stadia community coming in there and all that kind of stuff, responding. Do you know who else responded? Wired Productions. It is a massively growing community and install base. It's here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. That's not with some fanboy, yeah? That's not some deluded YouTuber who thinks Stadia's going to live forever, or any of that. That's from a publisher. Yes, that's good to see. It's good to see we're getting this publisher support and all of that. But there's even more. Wired Productions here, in fairness, Daft agreed, this Twitter guy, he went, fair enough. He sort of came round to the argument there. But where else did they go? Let's go to their Twitter. Maybe I've got it here. Could we be seeing another game announcement? Now, this could be exciting, ladies and gentlemen. This could be exciting. This, again, from Wired Productions today. They've been busy, boys and girls. Hit RT and follow. So make sure you hit RT and follow. You can't see that. My Twitter's not coming through. There we are. Coming to Stadia. What is coming to Stadia? What? Maybe we'll share another game later this week. Another game. What could that be, ladies and gentlemen? Now, Lamote, the Moat Master Chronicles, is a Wired Production game, but we already know that game is coming on March the 24th. That's already been announced. So what other game is Wired Productions hinting at? Now, I did ask here. I said, mum's the word, just whisper in my ear so I can have a little Stadia Monday Night Chat exclusive. They didn't deliver. They didn't deliver. Look, they're playing mum on it. Anyway, the big game that is out recently from Wired Productions, ladies and gentlemen, from Wired Productions, is this. Certificate 18. A Wired Productions presents. Are we truly the most authentic version of ourselves? Are we truly the most? Look at this next. Talk about next gen graphics. Oh my God, did you see that? Look at that. Is this a dream? Let's go full so you can see it. Talk about next. Look at the quality of those graphics. Anyway, what am I talking about? Martha is dead. Exactly. Now, I'm not saying 100% it's Martha is dead. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with a reasonable chance of it makes 4. This game is just released. It's been released by Wired Productions. We know there's sometimes a delay between, the main release and then games coming to Stadia for certification and porting issue reasons. Wired Productions have just said they might announce another game this week. I'm just saying. What do we think? Let me know. Let me know in the chat whether you think Martha is dead. Don't let me know if Martha is dead. That'd be a bit weird. Let me know if you think the game Martha is Dead is coming to Stadia, given the fact that Wired Productions have just said they will be making another Stadia game announcement this week. Does it mean we're going to get another Twas on Tuesday or Thursday? Busy, busy, busy. Anyway, I'm intrigued. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Indeed, Martha is Dead. Stadia is alive. Now, by all accounts, I think Ray, shout out to Ray. Didn't you play this game, Ray? Didn't you play this game over the weekend? I'm sure I saw Ray, who's in the chat or was in the chat earlier, if he's not off playing games. I'm sure he played it, so maybe he can let us know. It looked pretty gruesome in places. I'll be honest. It looked pretty gruesome. So maybe not everybody's cup of tea. Maybe a bit of Calico. Maybe use it. Maybe use Calico and Lake as a nice sandwich. Yeah, with the kind of horror depression of Martha is Dead in the middle, and then the cheerful cuddliness of Calico and Lake as the slices. The slices in your slightly dark, disturbing sandwich. I don't know. There you go. So anyway, let me know whether you think, indeed, Martha is Dead could be coming to Stadia, given the little trail of breadcrumbs I have just taken you through, ladies and gentlemen. As ever, we try to put 2 and 2 together and come up with a realistic 4. I try not to grab at straws. I try to do some deep research and sort of look at the options. I could be wrong. I mean, we could, what else? I mean, let's have a look, actually, while we're here. Why don't we have a quick look? So we know Lamote Chronicles from Wired Productions. There is coming. There's Stadia. And there's Martha is Dead. I can't. Of course, they brought us Avicii and the Falconeer. So they're obviously having success on Stadia. And I think if it is Martha is Dead, I think that's a real fundamental thumbs up from Wired that they're getting results. Well, the fact that Lamote is coming. It's working for them. As a developer, as a publisher, this is clearly working for them. I mean, it could be another game, but to me, it would seem like it would make sense if it was, Martha is Dead. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Speculation, but I think what are we saying? 70, 80%? What? I just made you hungry talking about Martha is Dead. What? However, right, it doesn't, talking about dead, how about, ladies and gentlemen, how about the House of the Dead? Hello? The House of the Dead. So rated on ESRB here, the House of the Dead remake. Yeah, so this is, of course, the classic arcade game from way back in 1996, I believe. First-person shooter in which players assume the role of an agent investigating a mysterious mansion in Europe. Did you ever play? I remember playing House of the Dead in the arcade with my light gun, firing at the arcade cabinet. Now, I couldn't remember whether it was a bit like Time Crisis, in which you used to have to point the gun off the screen to reload it, and then the ghosts pop up. In fact, hey, I don't know. My description's not going to do any justice to it, is it? No. And it was a sort of on the rails type game. Whoa, another super chat from Consino. Thank you. I was going to call you Consignio game, but Consino. That's not it. What's this? This is just a trailer. Ignore this. Let's get down to the thing. That's Elden Ring. Okay, so this looks like it was coming. This is from Forever Entertainment. And Megapixel. So Megapixel are the ones that did Panzer Dragoon, and they're part of Forever Entertainment. And this remake the House of the Dead remake has been rumored for some time. I think since about 2019. Meant to be coming to Switch. I played House of the Dead on the Wii, said Jinx. Interesting. Of course, on the Wii, you could probably use your little nunchuck or your controller as a kind of way. It would work a bit better. So I'm just curious. Oh, it looks like it had co-op play as well. It had 2 sites, unless it's twin sticks going on. But anyway, the game, as I said, has just been rated for Stadia. So, look, very few games that have been rated for Stadia do not come double negative. But you know what I mean. I mean, we are still waiting for some Mafia titles, but generally, every game that's been rated for Stadia has come to Stadia. So, could we see, ladies and gentlemen, the House of the Dead remake coming soon since it's been rated? So would that be another game for March? I mean, that is a hell of a lot of games. You know, classic Sega. This is a classic Sega game. This was from 1996. I thought it was older than that, but no. 1996. But could we see it this month? Interesting. The House of the Dead remake. Exciting. So talk about variety of games. Again, the question is, how's it going to work? Because it was an on-the-rails game with a light gun and you shoot the arcade cabinet. Do you control it with your controller? It's not quite the same, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, for the Switch, I can see it because you could use your sort of little individual Switch controllers like that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Did you ever play the original arcade version back in the day? Any of that? Be interested to know. But it just... busy. If that comes in March, talking about a shed load of games coming in March, yeah. By the look of things, more good stuff coming to Stadia, yeah. Not bad. Not only that, of course, as featured on this show previously, we have more details beyond games. We have more details around the Google for Games Developer Summit. So we mentioned this. So there was that seminar which featured Ryan Bartlett from Stadia, product manager, on talking to a Q&A organization about porting and getting through the certification process and how Stadia had made it easier. And he would be talking more about this at the Google for Games Developer Summit. And now we have more details about that summit. So let us talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. So here we go. The Google for Games Developer Summit keynote on the 15th of March. Okay, now what's interesting here are the people involved. So what you basically have is the head of gaming. Okay, so the director of Gaming Industry Solutions. Gaming Industry Solutions. So this, remember we talked about Jack Booser, who was, as part of Stadia, got promoted to head up the Game Industry Solutions for Google Cloud. Google Cloud is, of course, Alphabet's big push. Yeah. And gaming is a massive part of that push, getting more and more companies to adopt Google Cloud infrastructure. And they're targeting, specifically targeting the gaming industry. They're targeting, retail, medicine, and the gaming industry. There were 4 main columns they were targeting. Gaming was one of them. And Jack Booser, of course, heads that all up. So that's good to see he's there. But of course, you've got people from advertising, people from Google Play, people from various product managers, people from Android, and of course, people from Stadia. I say people, a person from Stadia here. Okay, so this is Karine Yap. Karine Yap featured. She is the strategic partnership boss. I think she's fairly high up, given the sort of... She probably reports straight into Phil Harrison. She's the strategic partnership boss. strategic business development, it says here, for Stadia, specifically for Stadia. Okay, so she's doing the deals for Stadia, or her team is doing the deals for Stadia. And she was at last year's Games Developer Summit with Google for Games, where they talked about not only the new business model for publishers and developers, bringing their games to Stadia and bringing their games to Stadia Pro, which they followed through on, but also some new tools and porting to make life easier. So it will, and they followed through on those. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say this year. Again, it's aimed at developers and publishers. Don't expect any kind of big game announcements, but what we can expect is continual progress of what's happening in terms of Stadia, where it's going, and all of that. And if we look at some of the let's turn to the, so there's loads. So Stadia is just a small part of this, right? It's not, it's, you know, that Google Play is like a $48 billion business. You know, Stadia is a small, it's not, you know, forget here. Stadia is a very small part of the overall gaming push by Google itself. However, there are some interesting seminars specifically. So this is Ryan Bartlett here, who we talked about before. Playtesting made easier on Stadia. So this is all about how you can test your games, helping the porting process, making testing games on Stadia a lot easier, all of those, which he talked about previously at the Backtrace seminar that we've talked about on this show before. So again, basically telling developers and publishers that we are making it easier for you to bring your games to Stadia. They talked about this last year. They delivered on that, and they're delivering even more here. Interesting here is Stadia Adventures in Slow Server Code on Unity. I wasn't sure what this was about, to be honest. A story about profiling, debug, build. Oh, yes, it was profiling. That was it. No, that's the next one. So another very technical talk. If anybody knows what this is about, let me know. And then profiling on Stadia. Now, this is interesting. I wasn't sure what it was about at first, but I did a bit of research. And this is where you look at where there are bottlenecks in the game. So when the game's playing, where are the bottlenecks which are taking up too much CPU or GPU and slowing these things down? So when people, you know, it slows down the frames, you know, your frame rate and things like that. And it's talking about profiling, which is looking through the game, running through the game and looking where those bottlenecks are and improving them so that the game runs more smoothly. Again, very technical, but very interesting. So you've got these three main talks specifically about Stadia aimed at publishers and developers. So we will, of course, be keeping across this. We'll be looking at it, trying to analyze it. What does it mean? But they are pushing through, developing further, more and more, you know, Stadia and all of that kind of stuff. So good. No, he's let's look about here. Interesting question here, Drew. No, he's not the head of Google Cloud. No. Jack Booser is the head of Google Cloud. Phil Harrison specifically is the head of Stadia. And as according to the Business Insider article, now reports into subscriptions. But Stadia itself is all part of Google Gaming, isn't it? A small part, because you've got Android Gaming, you've got Google Play, which are massive parts, much bigger than Stadia. Let us not forget this, and I'll come, and this is important that we don't forget this, that Stadia is only a small part of the overall, because what Google Cloud Gaming and the fact that Jack Booser heads it up, what they're looking to do is really push the tools, developer tools, not specifically for Stadia, but for developing games. And I'll talk about that in a little bit more detail as we come to something else. So it doesn't automatically mean that this will have an impact on Stadia. So what I want to do is touch on some speculation. about a potential game coming to Stadia, which I have seen. And to be honest, I think it's more wishful thinking. There is a developer talking here at the Google, at this summit here. Here it is. Open source backend tech for games with Embark Studios. So Embark Studios here. Let's go large, you can see. I don't understand. Okay. Always happens when I'm talking about Google. So this is Embark Studios, and they're talking about open source backend tech for games. What they're talking about here specifically is using the Google Cloud and the Google Cloud infrastructure for multiplayer games and things like that. So this is where a developer is talking about the tools, the developer tools available that Google are making to try and sell the Google Cloud. Yeah, they're developing Google tools, not necessarily tools specific for Stadia. No, tools specific to developing in the cloud. As more and more, developers and publishers want to develop games remotely and stuff like that, pushing and creating tools aimed specifically at developers and publishers so they can do this. And this talk is about that. It's about using the Google Cloud infrastructure, standing on the shoulders of giants, to build their own opinionated platform for upcoming titles. Basically, there are a variety of open source projects specifically tailored to backends for multiplayer games. One of these is a partnership between 2K. So there are tools developed specifically for multiplayer games, which is a partnership specifically between 2K Games and Google. But we don't see tons and tons of 2K games coming to Stadia. So I think it's important to differentiate between some activity that Google does related to games. I mean, Android games, Google Play, are nothing really to do with Stadia. So there has been some speculation that Embark Studios are working on, well, not speculation, they are working, but there's speculation, but because of this, because they're at Google for Games developer, that possibly one of the games they're working for might come to Stadia. I'm not convinced that is the case. I don't think there's a direct correlation, but the fact that they're talking about Google Cloud tools and developing a game, that therefore it leads that it might come to Stadia. That's all I'm saying. Now the game they're talking about is this Ark Raiders, which looks really cool. It looks a really cool game. A free-to-play cooperative third-person shooter where you and your squad of raiders unite to resist the onslaught of Ark, ruthless mechanized threat descending from space. Let's play the trailer and you'll get an idea. So there's been some speculation because Embark Studios are talking at the Google for Games Developer Summit that this might come to Stadia. I'm not saying it won't come to Stadia. I'm just not convinced the fact that they're... Vegetables. So, right. The fact that Embark Studios are talking about Google Cloud, what they're talking about are the infrastructure and the tools that Google are working on for developers, not specifically about Stadia, sadly. This is my view. Stadia is just one small part of the gaming operation within Google. Google Clouds and tools and all that is a big part of Google for Games. Hence, Jack Buser heading up the strategy for Google Games. Google Cloud offer developer tools, infrastructure, multiplayer game support to the games industry as a whole. There's Activision relationship. There's Google and 2K partnership. But that doesn't mean the Activision games are coming to Stadia. It doesn't mean that a load of 2K games are suddenly arriving on Stadia. They're two very different parts of the overall Google for Gaming offering. So as I said, the fact that Embark Studios are here talking about Google Cloud tools and infrastructure, and they also happen to be working on a free up-and-coming multiplayer game, is not in itself de facto proof the game will come to Stadia. So there we go. Some people are speculating it might do because of that. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not being a Debbie Downer here. Don't get me wrong. I'd love this game. This game looks really cool. I'd love it. So I'm not being a Debbie Downer on this one. I'm just trying to be more rational and clear and make sure we have to be careful that we're not grabbing at wishful thinking straws, as it were. But the game looks really cool and I'd love it on Stadia. I'm not saying, it could still come to Stadia. They could have been thinking about Stadia. Google Gaming is massive and covers loads of areas, and Stadia is just a small part of that. If you consider the size of Google Play at $48 billion and Android and all of that, they're not all seamlessly integrated, however much we might wish they were. However, as I said, this is not to say the game would not be great. It looks amazing. Would not be great to have it on Stadia. Of course it would. And potentially, look, Karine Yap is up there. She's strategic partnership. She's at the summit. Maybe some networking can be done. Maybe we should all lobby Embark Studios. That may be the approach that we need to take. Yeah? Lobby. It's coming to, what you see there? It's coming to PlayStation, Xbox Series X, Steam, GeForce Now. They've opted in for GeForce Now. So it could come to Stadia, but I think what we ought to do is maybe lobby Embark Studios, like we have with other developers. Are you bringing this to Stadia? Just put it in their mind, and you never know, at the summit, conversations might be had. Karine might, have a conversation with Embark Studios. Bish, bash, bosh. So why don't we all, go to Embark Studios and say, in the Twitter sphere, and say, hey, are you bringing this to Stadia? Ever consider to get it fresh in their mind? So when they are talking at the Stadia conference, you never know. But the fact that they are there talking, I do not think is de facto proof that this game will come to Stadia. But it would be great if it did. That's all I'm saying. It would be fabulous if the game came to Stadia. Anyway, there we go. In other news, quickly, ladies and gentlemen. In other news, just to keep you update on things. It seems we get a regular blog post here from Broken Arms Games. 100 days, of course, the wine game, updating us here. So updating to Stadia version 1.30. Still working, so that's done. The Napa port for Stadia is still to come on 100 days. And still starting pre-production on a new game. But it's good to see a developer just keeping us in the loop on what's happening. I think the game is just launched on Switch. Yeah, today, actually. But yeah, so they've patched, the latest patch to Stadia is done. Napa Stadia port, they're still working on. So that's an update from 100 days, 100 days, the wine game, of course. Could we see another Jackbox Party game? Jackbox Party Summer. Coming this summer, the Jackbox Party Starter. We're currently up to 8 party packs. And our experts have confirmed that means we're up to 40 games. Some would consider the first iteration the Jackbox Party Pack. So look, they're doing a starter here. So could we see this Jackbox Party Starter come to Stadia, considering most of the other games are Jackbox Party games are coming, already on Stadia or speculated to be coming to Stadia. So something to look out for. More Jackbox Party fun. Definitely check that out. And talking of fun, ladies and gentlemen, how can I go without this? The Winter Community Championship, ladies and gentlemen, is into the grand final. Just over a week until the live, in fact, it was announced. I don't have the date here. I think the date was announced yesterday. But anyway, yeah, in fact, it's next week, I think, the 4th of March or something like that. 16 players have made it through to the final. I think there's $400 winning prize and a $200 runner-up prize. 16 players have reached the finals, and the games are Super Animal Royale, 16 enter, 8 leave. This is going to be a private lobby set up. So the game will be created. So there are only 16 participants. And they're going to basically have a playoff against each other. And only 8 will go through to the next round. Dirt 5, I think, is the same. It'll be a race-off of the eight that's left. And the top 4 will go through to the next round. The semi-finals, as it were. And then you've got Cake Bash. 4 cakes enter. 2 leave. And finally, 1-on-1 Killer Queen Black. And it is one queen versus the other queen. Queen Killer. Yeah? In a grand final. And it will be streamed and all of that. So definitely. Yes, indeed. So definitely check that out. I think it's 4th of March. It all sort of starts up. But somebody who might could confirm that for me. But yes, the Winter Community Championship is coming to its end there. Coming to its end. And yes, Grime indeed did get patched. Thank you for the shout out. That Stadia Adventure. It did indeed get patched. I think I had that somewhere, but I had so many tags. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Grime got patched. So there we are. Let's go to the chat. There's your news. It's all happening, isn't it? Games, developments, tech stuff, speculation, new games announced today. Busy, busy, busy. Let us go to the chat, see what you guys have been saying. Whether you agree with me. Do you think Ark Raiders, is coming? Just put that there. Do you think Ark Raiders is coming? Do you think it's a fair assessment that I've made? I think it's a bit of a reach that it would be coming, personally. Right. Let's have a look at chat. Chat's not showing up there. Just finished that's what we like to see. Just finishing in time for this. Why are you not there? Chat's not showing. I find grinding the side quests gets you the equipment to make. That's probably my problem. I think my equipment is underpowered. Well, that's what she said. I think my weapons are underpowered a bit, to be honest, if I'm brutally frank. When it comes, that's why I struggle with the bosses. Maybe I need to do more of that. Roger's been enjoying Horizon Forbidden West on the old PlayStation. Very good. Yes, indeed. One that is very interesting. Thank you for pointing that out. I forget which one it was. Let's just go back to I've got it here. But specifically, building your own Windows emulator. So the principle being you don't have to convert your game to Linux or any of that. And that could have really interesting implications. Here we are. Writing, so this is actually Stadia porting. So actually, it's another one. I missed it, actually, because it's Stadia porting. Yeah, so specifically about Stadia porting here, as you can see there. I'll go large, you can see it. Yeah. How to write Windows emulator for Linux from scratch. Detailed overview of the technology behind Google's solution for running unmodified Windows games for Stadia. A deep technical walkthrough of some of the core concepts with the goal to allow curious programmers to better understand such technologies. But that's the key thing. That's really exciting when you think about it. Running unmodified Windows games on Stadia. Suddenly, that opens up a whole load of games, because the investment decision, because remember, porting, the longer it takes to port, the more complex it is to port a game, the more money it costs. The more money it costs, the harder the investment decision to bring your game to Stadia is. Therefore, the easier it is to get a game, it's money for old rope. If it is literally flicking a switch on your Windows-based game, that's money for old rope. It's not costing you anything. Yeah, other than a bit of time and support and get through the certification process. It's hardly costing you anything. So this is really exciting if they pull this off and it becomes adopted. A great alternative way, rather than having to be Linux-based, of bringing Windows-based games to Stadia unmodified. So that should be really interesting to see what the outcome, and see whether there's any examples already of games that we might already have on Stadia that have undergone this process. Anyway, correlation does not imply causation. Yes. Indeed. Lake does indeed look interesting, but you're allergic to cats. I told my daughter, she's 17, she plays a cat game on her iPhone. She loves it, right? For a kind of emo goth, she loves her cat game. So I told her, Cat Cafe, and she's like, oh, yes. I said to her, finally get you playing interested in Stadia. I've got the boy interested in Stadia because he's got FIFA. Not playing stereotypes, but she loves playing the cat game on her iPhone. She's going to love a Cat Cafe. Calico, bring it. Big build off the back of Life is Strange. I wonder if these are pulled through quite... Yeah, exactly. I think it's about broadening the audience, you know. Gaming is for everybody. It's not all about, where's my Battlefield, you know. That I've said it before on this channel that I get a sense that Stadia is almost that sort of cross between a platform that can deliver good quality AAA games and sort of Nintendo curated type games. It's sort of a cross between a sort of Switch demographic and a AAA demographic. It's a nice little mix, I think. You know, that's the way I look at it. That's the sort of sense I get. And it's good to have a diverse range of games. They do look like laid-back games. They do. We need them now. We do. Pastries give me... Yeah, sign me up. Pastries give me heartburn. Well, you don't have to eat them. I eat them virtually without the problems of heartburn, yeah? Mr. Bayram is saying it's super chilled out game. It looks it. It looks it. Oh, Humble Monthly, so I can check it out. Yeah, look, let us know. Let us know. There's this point and click resurgence going on. Yeah, interesting. Humble Monthly, what is Humble Monthly? Excuse my ignorance. I'm not going to pretend I know something when I don't know it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the pro titles. All of them. I'll delve into them. Yokoso, Aragona Gozaimasu Yoshida. Another first on Stadia. Exactly, just like Little Nightmares 2, which was about the same. I think that was in February. I think it was February, but similar time of year. We got that exclusive. No, unfortunately not. I'm not convinced it's coming, to be honest. Unfortunately, there, Andrew. We have to be honest. I don't think it's arriving. Mr. Bayram there. Cheers there for lovely Wild Productions. One of the first I completed. Good for you. Yeah. Well, you know, you just look at all the games coming. I mean, are those people not looking, from what I've just said, like all the games that are coming in March, we've got a ton of games coming in March, and 2 games announced, you know, today. Martha is Dead possibly coming. Day of the Dead possibly coming. Plus the developer conference stuff. Porting direct, you know, unmodified Windows games to Stadia. I mean, if that becomes a thing, then these sort of, that original Business Insider tech blog and every facsimile of it, yeah, bad take on that and spin of that, as we go through, as expected, no surprise, as we go through and Stadia continue doing what they do, bringing the games, 100 plus games this year, just keep bringing them, the more and more the veracity of that Business Insider statement, it begins to evaporate, doesn't it? Yeah. The foundations upon which it was sort of loosely built begin to sort of be disproven and fade away. And it looks more and more ridiculous. And all the clickbait titles who jumped on it at the slightest excuse, looking more and more ridiculous. But we're not surprised. We're not surprised by that. No, that was me. That was me. Adam Wolf. Yeah, I'm curious about Adam Wolf. Dawn of the Monsters. I love a bit of kaiju action, so I'm interested. And I love the manga design style and the artwork by actual kaiju artists from Japan, senior artists as well. These are not young whippersnappers, as I understand it. One of them is quite an old guy who's been drawing kaiju manga for years. Really well respected, my insider tells me. Fantastic game of Darksiders, says Lloyd. Yeah, of course. All the press, they will. Yeah, everybody will be announcing it. Exclusive. Play it first on Stadia. Of course they will. Oh, wait a minute. No, they won't. Hello, bud. How you doing, sir? You got a kart racing. You got a kart racer. Ryan's bringing the kart race. The old brain fog. Exactly. Look, I'm not feeling well, Twisted Barbie. Give me a break, man. Yeah, I've got a lot of buttons to push. I don't really... I need a producer behind the scenes to do it, yeah? I don't do a show where I have loads of guests on. I can let them do all the talking and then I just press the buttons. Yeah? I run the joint. I run this show, this production, baby. And sometimes I forget to hit the button. You know, it happens. It's like I'm juggling. Not yet. Dave Whitnell played XCOM. Like that, thinks it's similar. Oh! Indeed. Thank you, Yoshida. As I said earlier, what did I say? La scavo prossimo. Diakuyu. Doyokyu. Right, we'll get all of that, me playing in the background. I know. Cosmic Star's very good, says Dave. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dear. Every week. I did last week, didn't I? Oh, well. I really wanted Grid Legend. Yeah, it would be nice to see a Codemaster. Ah, Ken, Mr. W. Thank you for the subscription, sir. Much appreciated. I wanted to see Grid Legend. I'd like to see another Codemasters game because it's sort of owned by EA. I wouldn't be surprised if Grid Masters strikes me as one of the... Grid Legends strikes me as one of those games that might come to Stadia, like, later, much later. Yeah, 6 months. See, Stadia Adventure and I are on the same wavelength there, yeah? Hey, Jerome, how are you? How are you, my friend? Yeah, it does. We're beginning to pick up those games, aren't we? Yeah, oh, God. Dave, tell me about it. I'm old, I think. I just don't... Discord's for nerdy PC people, yeah? Because it's not user-friendly. You can always tell like that's why nerdy PC gamers love games on PC, because they're not user-friendly, yeah? You have to fiddle with stuff, and you have to download stuff and then change your settings and fiddle about with stuff, and it's messy. Messy, don't like it. That's why I'm a console gamer. I want to press a button, download a game, play the game. Well, not anymore. I want to just play the game, you know? Nice and simple. Discord to me is like that. It's not invented by people who have a nice sort of design aesthetic. It's for PC nerds, and I get confused. There's too much stuff going on in Discord. That's my excuse. Yeah, it was a good tweet to see from Wild Productions. Oh, you're all on there. Yeah. Yeah, Darth's tweet was fair enough. I mean, his statement, it's not caught on, but he just needed a few people who said, actually, you'll be surprised. And it was just nice for the publisher to come in and go, yeah, you'll be surprised. I think it has caught on, There's definitely a cult following. Art Raiders would be great. I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just sort of saying I think the speculation is a bit grasping at straws, but it has as much chance as coming as any other game. So, yeah. It looks phenomenal. It looks really cool. What name? not Google. I wanted to set your Google off, did I, Louise? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Wild Productions have already announced Lamote, so that's why I think it's another game. Yeah. Vostok Inc. again on Stadia. Definitely. Of course, it's the best show, news show on a Monday. Absolutely. Consigner. Yes, you're right, Stadia. If you go to the Sega arcades in Judgment, you get to play similar games. You get to play the old arcade games. Of course. House of Dad seems like it would be difficult without that. No, I like the House of Dad. It's me. You just basically the House of Dad. You get moaned at, and you have to go and pick everybody up and carry them around like an Uber driver. That's my story. House of Dad. Dad, you can pick me up. Dad, you take me here. Dad, you can yeah, sure. Dad, I forgot my stuff. Okay, I'll bring it. Yeah, the House of Dad. Basically, you have to just drive places to places in an open world map to deliver your children everywhere. It was great using the Wii remote. Exactly. This I'm curious how it plays with the controller. So yeah, what gets rated for Stadia comes to Stadia. Exactly. Yeah, what goes in Vegas stays in Vegas. Oh yeah, a bit like touch control, like do you mean like Just Dance? Remember if you could flick your phone. Oh no, that'd be dangerous. Your phones would be going straight in the LG C1. Dave and Buster's. I'm presumably Dave and Buster's. Are they your mates, or is Dave and Buster's an arcade place? Different division within Google. It is a different division. A game engine and or game development environment. Yep. He does. Jack Booster reports to the head of Google Cloud. Exactly. That's what I said. Head of Google Cloud. He heads up. Jack Booster heads up Google Gaming and what they can offer, what Google Cloud can offer the gaming industry. And Stadia is a part of that because it can offer obviously the white labeling stuff, partnerships, and all that kind of stuff. But the bigger thing are the tools, the development tools and stuff and the infrastructure and all of those things. That's it. The 5 pillars, and gaming was one of those. Yeah, we talked about it on this show. Good to see you've been paying attention, Jeremy. There will be an exam at the end of the year. Yeah, maybe after 100 episodes, there will be an exam on everything you've learned from the Stadia Monday Night Chat. Yeah. Yeah, Stadia's still part of that. But yeah, it does make sense. What's all this? Oh, look, hot. All this spam going on here. We'll get rid of that. Oh, it obviously means I'm popular. Let's hide this user in the channel. Anyway, it's nice to see I'm popular. Arc Raiders would be, yeah. Arc Raiders would be awesome on Stadia. Of course it would. Exactly. I think the way to get it on Stadia is to just not spam Embark Studios, but do what we do with other. There was another game I saw today where somebody said, approached the Stadia, the developer, and said, "Are you bringing it to Stadia?" And he said, "Oh well, I'm not sure, and I'll look into it." So we can do the same with Embark. I think it was MM2K who's sort of saying you should bring this game, not Embark, it was another game. I should have it here. But yeah, this is what we need to do is I can't find it there. But basically go to Embark Studios on the Twitter and say, "Hey, have you considered bringing this to Stadia? Yeah, no Elden Ring, sadly. Wow, so many. Well, there are so many titles. If Windows porting tool really worked with a click, it would be huge. It would be Hugh. Would it be Hugh? Yeah, huge. Stadia again. Exactly. Exactly. Well, the thing about GFN, it is just a gaming rig in the sky, and and all publishers have to do is click a box to say they wish to opt into the program. It's a gaming PC in the sky, and if you want a gaming PC, a virtual gaming PC, well, then GFN has got that, and all the shovelware that GFN has. So, I mean, that Steam and all that has, and that's great if that's your thing. You know, if that's your thing, that's cool. Thank you, 1030 Media Group, much appreciated. There's a whole. I wish you were on Pluto TV or Samsung TV. There's a whole section of gaming on that. It's practically wasted on BS Minecraft at the moment. It'd be a breath of fresh air if you have a TV voice. Wow. Get on Pluto TV or Samsung. Yeah, maybe I'll approach Samsung and say, why don't you commission me? It's funny. I looked on. I had an issue with my LG app. Here's a little tip, a little bugbear of mine, ladies and gentlemen, right? And there may be valid reasons because you want to, but I had a problem with Stadia. Yeah, believe it or not, I had a slight problem with Stadia, my LG app in particular. So rather than go on Twitter and sort of shout out to the world, I've got a problem with Stadia, can you help me fix it? And then wait for Stadia to go, yeah, sure. Why don't you DM us and we'll have a conversation? Let's take this conversation offline. I just DM'd Google Stadia directly and said, I seem to be having a bit of a problem. And then we struck up a conversation about different things I could do to try and fix the problem. I think it's fixed. And it's all good. I don't really like it when people sort of state their Stadia problem publicly and then at Google Stadia. Just a bugbear of mine, each to their own. But why don't you just DM Stadia directly? Nobody cares about your problems, Stadia problems. Why are you making it public? Unless it's to sort of say, hey, it's different if you're going like on Reddit or something. Hey, is anybody else having this problem? But yeah. Anyway, bugbear of mine. But there we go. Squids has got some leftovers. Oh, I could do with some eating right now. Right, there we go. Bot raid, indeed. Bot raid. Spam bot. Anyway, yes, tomorrow, indeed, as Gandara points out, is Pro Day tomorrow. Enjoy your Pro title. Thank you for watching. Thank you for gathering. Thank you for putting up with me in my state. I'm not, feeling too well. But that was episode 99 of the Stadia Monday Night Chat, which means next week, episode 100 of the Stadia Monday Night Chat. And I have, fingers crossed, a little treat for you. A little treat, maybe a big treat. Something special. Fingers crossed, if we get it sorted. Next week, do not miss the show. Episode 100. Special treat for everybody. I hope you'll appreciate it. It's all planned. Hopefully it comes off okay. Make sure you miss that. Thank you to everybody who watched today, thanking live. Thank you to everybody who's watched it on catch up and all of that. Don't forget to hit the likes to help people find this amazing show. More and more people are discovering it, and that's really great. And if you are new here, as I said before, please, please, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with content like this. And I shall see you all around very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.